Don't worry about how or where you begin. As long as you keep moving, your success will be far from where you start. Guys, how do you like the first article I did in a series on watches as an investment? In fact, just as a quick aside, I'll get right to the charts, I promise. But I spoke to an investor group the other day, a lot of young people there, and they had all sorts of questions about Bitcoin, why we track HODL instead of, Bitcoin exchanges and all that. Had a good explanation for that. Why we do GLD, should they buy real physical gold? I tell you, my quick one is answer no. Quick answer to why we do HODL instead of Bitcoin, because you have to go to Bitcoin exchanges. Remember Sam Bankman-Fried? I don't want any involvement with any of that. I want to use the stock market. I want the SEC in charge of my investments so they're regulated and safe as they can be. That's also part of the answer to GLD. I don't want to buy some numismatic coin that's valued at a special price with them that you can't get anywhere else. If you want to buy gold bullion, just buy bullion. But who wants to have that in your house and get yourself tortured so somebody who finds out that you've got a big stash of gold breaks into your house and steals it from you? Tortures you till you open the safe. I don't want any of that. GLD, I can buy and sell just like HODL any day of the week. And watches, are they investment grade? My friends, they're not investments. They're not investments at all. If you like a watch, buy a watch. If it happens to go up in value, good for you. It's just as likely to go down in value. The people who do watch arbitrage are the guys on 47th Street in New York and the gray market sellers. They can make money. Read that article, just of interest. No problem with watches. I've got some nice expensive watches, but I don't see them as investments. They don't pay dividends. They don't go up. You can't do what we do here each and every day and trade them back and forth almost with total liquidity. Let's jump into these charts. We see stocks are up for the day. So is gold. So is HODL, Bitcoin that we were just talking about quite nicely. Well over 3%, 3.68% to be exact. Bonds are about flat, actually down a little bit, but really flat. Let's jump first into the S&P 500 as I did my rundown this morning. And I tell you, let me advise you guys, just another little aside, some helpful stuff as we're now through, we've passed sort of midsummer, I feel like. Once I hit the 4th of July, it's sort of the downward slide to all the kids going back to school. And summer, not over, still a good bit left, but I start sort of getting things ready, thinking about stuff. And one of the things I've been thinking a lot about is as we look at stocks and the stock market, and we start paying attention to what's going on a daily basis, this is one thing that I do. I go to Grok, whatever your favorite artificial intelligence is, every morning, and I ask it to give me a market rundown. I keep it pretty simple. I don't have a really long query, and it is great about telling me everything that's happening. It's like what you used to get with a market brief at some of these paid services. I don't use any of those anymore. I just ask Grok, and it goes out, and I have a good query for it, and pulls the information and tells me what economic indicators are coming up, when the Fed meeting notes are coming out, or when a Fed meeting is. It's telling me what's happening on the futures, on the S&P 500, NASDAQ 100, what's up with bonds, gold, Bitcoin. It'll give you all those rundowns. You just ask it, it provides it to you, and it is so helpful just to get the general gist as your day starts. So you sort of have an idea as to what might be developing. And of course, it told me this morning, hey, futures are up on stocks and bonds. There's other things happening, but nothing really to rattle the market. Nothing rattled the market. Market did sort of what I was told it was going to do in the morning. We see the S&P up 0.87%, NASDAQ up 1.43%. It's a booming. As the week starts off, it's starting off strong. Look at the 2-day chart. We've had things moving along sideways. This is a good start to the week. Now, things could go wrong as I'm speaking in Iran. Something could go terrible in the Straits of Hormuz. You could have any number of things around the world happen and go bad. Right now, stocks are starting off the week looking nice, like maybe this endless up, down, up, down, up, down is going to be over and stocks are going to take off again. But remember, we're still in the summertime trading zone. Look at the volume on the weekly. It is low. You can see on the half day, it's not bad. On the 2-day, it ended up with higher than average volume, second up candle. And of course, it's looking quite nice after the holiday. Remember, markets were closed on Friday. So we're starting the week off in a good way for stocks to continue up moves. Same with the NASDAQ. Now, we don't see as strong a candle forming here because, of course, we had things really hammered down on Thursday, but pushing through that, if you can call that much of a trend line. A doji, lots of indecision on the 2-day chart, but again, a nice boom and up day. We'll see how things continue to proceed, 1.43%. Where are we on bonds? They are down 0.07%. You can see how they've just edged downward over the last several days. We slammed down through that trend line on Wednesday, the 1st of July. We were heading down before then. Down move started on Tuesday morning, the 30th of June. Did I say 30th of July? The 1st of July is where we slammed down in the morning. I'm sorry if I got that completely wrong. 1st of July. It's not even the 30th of July yet. Really slammed down, pushed through. And then as we saw, things move through the next, as they've moved into this week, of course, we have this big crossover. That is the reason the Heikin-Ashi candlestick is so big on the weekly with just a little down move for the day is all of that average pace, which is what I'm told Heikin-Ashi means or stands for in Japanese. All that average pace of movement is accounted for in that candle. We're taking out a lot of the volatility and showing you where the pace is, and that is down. Again, a clean crossover. So, and you can see how clean it is. I mean, it just goes from one to the other. So again, we are looking for that continued movement as we move into this week. Hopefully we'll have volume to back that up. What's up with gold? It's up like Bitcoin. It's up 1.06% for the day. Now it has broken through. You can see on the half-day chart on Wednesday, things started moving up. Then on Thursday, then on Monday, pushing through at the end of the day, that weekly trend line going down. Maybe we're bouncing off. We've seen it, try to bounce off before. We've seen it bounce before. This is more like bouncing off of an area of some kind of support. So we'll keep an eye on things. Again, just one day, well, actually 3 days of it slowly tracking up. The last 2 days been decent, Thursday and Monday. But again, don't forget, markets closed on Friday. I almost forgot that. So what did we see happen? Well, we've crossed through the trend line. Now, it could sink back down as the week continues, but we're hopeful. Maybe gold's found its bottom, and by the end of the week, we can jump into a long position on gold. That's a maybe. Look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been moving like gold. It started on Wednesday of last week, Thursday, and it just keeps rallying, moving up 3.68% for the day. Is Bitcoin going to hold up on this support level and move back up? Wouldn't it be good to see Bitcoin in the green after, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks of just draining out the supply there, draining out the supply of hope as it just continued to move down. So we'll wait, watch, and see. We are poised and ready to act. My friends, thanks so much for being with us. I hope you enjoy the work that we're going to be doing, sort of little asides here, not only on the watches, on gold, on Bitcoin, on the reason we do things, what we think about things. That little investor group got me interested in the other things that people worry about that play right into what we do here. And again, you got questions, problems, concerns, suggestions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Please be sure to subscribe at chartingwealth.com. We never spam or sell that list. If you really like what we do here, support us at Patreon. You'll get a copy of my latest book for free, along with the 3-Wave Trading Advantage, a 3-part video series that teaches you what you need to know to start practice trading options, which are loads of fun, particularly when they work, when you're in the green. God bless. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth.